Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Mardale and Haweswater. As you can see, isn't that just flipping gorgeous? Now, it's 7 days ago since I was last here up on High Street, which is at the moment shrouded in cloud, would you believe it? So I'm going to be doing a much shorter walk today than I did last week around High Street, and I'm going to be hitting two fells. Branstree, which is that one right there, and I'll be going across to Selside. Let's go and have a look at the map and check out the route today. So I've parked the van at the western end of the Old Corpse Road, and I'm going to head down the remainder of the reservoir to the car park at Mardale Head, before heading up Gatesgarth Pass, followed by a short, sharp climb up to the first Wainwright of the day, Branstree, and then over to Artle Crag, and then across the bogfest that is Captain Welter Bog, up to the second fell, Selside. Then I'm going to drop down and pick up the Old Corpse Road here, finally heading towards what is arguably one of the finest views in Lakeland, and then dropping back down to the van. So in terms of weather forecast today, it is actually forecast to be this. Blue sky, sunshine, nice and clear, and should get some fantastic views. But it is cold. It's -1 right now, and I think it's going to drop significantly the further up I go. It's about 700 metres this one, so yeah, you can work that one out. But I would gladly take -50 and blue skies after last week's walk. I just want to enjoy the views today and enjoy looking back towards High Street. Kind of wishing I was there today, not last week, but never mind. I'll tell you something, Harterfell looks absolutely stunning this morning, with that little bit of sunlight on the crag there and the moon. Oh, wow. And the trees of the rig, everything's looking gorgeous, it really is. I nearly slipped over there, to be careful. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's get down to the bottom of Gatesgarth Pass and start to get up there and get some heat worked up, because I'll tell you what, my fingers are cold already, so let's go. I've always really loved this tree here, the one that stands higher than all the rest of them. So right in front is where I was last week, so Small Water is there, and you can see Mardale Ilbel right there. You know, Harterfell at the moment has a look of a mountain in Nepal, Pumori. It's like a flattened version of it. It's got these crags that run in a diagonal way that look a little bit similar. Obviously not as steep and as dramatic as Nepal, but still beautiful nonetheless. And right on our doorstep. So I'm not far off the car park now, it's just here. And I'm starting to get a first glimpse of High Street properly as I come round the hulk of rough crag here, the bottom end of it. But very much ready to get up Gatesgarth Pass now, because my fingers, well, I can't even feel them, they've gone. Always a bit nervous about walking along this stretch of road here as we approach the car park. There have been in the past quite a few landslides here. In fact, there was one landslide that blocked off the road completely when I came to do a walk, and I couldn't get to the car parks. I had to park on the road there, and it completely destroyed the road and this wall as well. There'd been a lot of rain at that time, and there's been a lot of rain recently, so it's always a bit, ooh, you know, it's a bit scary. Okay, back in the car park where it all started last week. This is the end of the road here, you can't drive any further. It's a shame, because it'd be nice to have a huge road right over there, pass over there, with a pub at the top and some shops. Right, it's now time to sweat. But first, look at Harterfell. Flipping heck. That's a cute little finger post. That is tiny. Really tiny. Right, let's go. Let's get up here. Right, I can now see Long Stile, which is the last section of rough crag as it goes up onto the summit plateau of High Street. Flipping windy up there though, by the looks of it. I don't think it's forecast to be that windy today. I got it wrong again. Lovely. Not too sure how long it's going to be before I get my spikes on. I don't think I'll be able to get through today without having them on. They'll have to go on at some point, no doubt. But so far it's all right. It's quite soft. It's not too icy. The trouble is, I can't need my fingers to warm up and start working again before putting them on, because there's nothing worse than trying to put spikes on or crampons on when you literally can't feel your fingers, or you can feel your fingers, but they're just agony, you know. Anyway, so as you can see, car park, the path is now bending round to the left and heading up towards Gatesgarth Pass. Yeah, this zigzags up, it's not too bad, but then obviously up to Branstree, it's just straight up. However, got all these views to enjoy throughout the whole walk, so mustn't grumble. And I can continue to wonder at this beauty that is Harterfell. When you're on the summit of Harterfell, it is possibly one of the most boring mountains ever. There's not a lot to it, but from this side, yeah, it looks very, very impressive indeed. Get some nice views looking back out towards Haweswater now. This is Gatesgarth Beck, and yeah, nice little beck. I don't know if you can see it in this camera, but there's this really beautiful, almost alpenglow on the snow here, and it's basically the reflected sunlight from over there. It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't think it's showing up though, that's a shame. Okay, I've reached the midsection of the pass. Not, you know, the top of the pass, but a section here where it levels off a little bit before going steep again. I mean, it's not mega steep, but you know, you can certainly feel it. But you have got this flattish section here. Look at this drift here. Ooh, half a foot deep. As I get higher up the pass, I can really feel the air temperature dropping significantly. I can feel my beard crisping up a little bit. And just stopping to take photographs or little clips from my big camera get cold very, very quickly, just when I stop moving. It's incredible how fast you can get cold. But I'm thinking, once I'm in the sunshine, which I will be when I'm going up to Branstree, because the path is on the south side a little bit, I should warm up a little bit, I hope. Crunch, crunch, crunch. This is fantastic, look. Got a ridge here, another ridge, as the wind has just swept the snow down over the pass. Probably this morning. I just love the patterns that are formed. Just about to get into the sunshine. Ooh, blinded. Oh, wow, it's drifted really deep here. Oh, it's lovely to be in the sun. Really nice. It's getting quite cold there, and there's a little bit of heat in that sun. But I'll tell you something now, it is a very cold day. It's actually even colder than it was last week, which is saying something. The air temperature is just colder. That's Gatesgarth Pass. If you keep going along there, you drop down into Long Sleddle. And if you go up that way, you head on over to Harterfell. But today I'm going up here. And you can see a sort of couple of trods actually going off I'm going to take a left-hand one that heads off in that direction there. I mean, you can actually handrail the fence if you wanted to. It'll take you up to the top. Right, let's get up there and just really enjoy this beautiful white snow and the blue sky. There is something about that whole vision there that just sets the soul alight, I think. Right, I've now reached the point at which, around about 12 years ago, catastrophe struck. I was coming this way and I got to this point and the views out towards Hartefell, High Street and all those were looking amazing. Beautiful low light, clouds swirling and, you know, the huge. And thought, oh no, I've got the wrong lens on, I need to swap lens. Right, let's do that. And I swapped the lens over, put the other one away, got the other one out, and I dropped it. I dropped it from this height onto the ground. It didn't have snow, it was just grass, but it was a, well, it was a thud that was heard probably 100 miles away, and they heard my resultant scream and cry probably even further. It was, yeah, a very low point for me in my photography career, as I dropped this lens that I'd worked so hard to buy, to save up for, you know, and there it was, just, yeah, ruined. Bit of a trudge up here. It is tough because, you know, the snow is drifting in places, so you have to really dig your feet in to get any kind of purchase. But look at that view, honestly. I mean, I'm not even going to complain about the blue sky today. I normally do on blue sky days because they're not great for photographs, but the blue and the white. As you can see, I'm just getting up onto the top of Branstree. You can see the end of the wall here, and the fence kind of continues. So you know you're not quite at the summit, because the summit is just over here. Let's get to the very, very highest point. I think Wainwright kind of mentions that in his book as well. Wow, I tell you what, it's really deep here. So I think the highest point is probably round about here, pretty much in line with that wall actually. So if the wall continues, imagine it continuing along. It's around about here. The views are pretty spectacular actually. Obviously you've got Hartefell and High Street, massive, just in the way of most of the lakes. But flipping heck, Pennines, How Gills, looking amazing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the north face of Branstree, because that's where the views will open up. Like I said on the road, it's a steep drop down. Should be able to see Haweswater. I can see a little bit of Haweswater over there in the distance, but should get significantly more of a view. It is hard work in this snow. Now that looks like it could be deep, so I'm going to avoid that and stick where I can see the grass. Yeah, see, it's dropping down quite a lot, you know. So you can see Blee Water over there now. That's coming into view. Stunning, it really is. And we should see the whole of Rough Crag come into view. That's the ridge going up to High Street there. That is quite beautiful, isn't it? Wow. Whew, that's deep. I could just keep on going and going and going. I might drop down a bit further actually, yeah, let's do a bit more. I don't want too much because that means obviously coming back up. Okay, there's the rig coming into view. Okay, we're not going to see all of it, I don't think. We can just make out the north shore down there, but I'd have to keep going right down to get the full view. But yeah, pretty good. That's very nice indeed, isn't it? Wow. Right, what I'm going to do now is, instead of going back up to Branstree, I'm going to contour the hill round and get round to Artle Crag Pike and Artle Crag Cairn, which is a nice little structure there. So you can see it there, little cairn. Just going to go along this dodgy looking bit of snow, actually. Quite deep now. Just drifted here, you can see a heck of a lot. Whew. Fun though, until I fall on a huge hole. Okay, here we are approaching Artle Crag. Do you recognise this from anywhere? That's right, it is the one from the book, the Far Eastern Fells book. Probably drawn from this side, actually, thinking about it. What do you reckon? Makes sense, high streets in the background. Now there is another cairn just here. I don't think it's that one. Oh, it could be, but I don't think it is. And we can see down in the distance there what is marked on the map as a pillar, but I think it's a survey station, according to Wainwright. What kind of survey? I don't know. Ordnance survey? BGS? Who knows? If you know, let me know in the comments. Oh, it got really cold then. As you can see, I've got all the layers on now. But just left Artle Crag. In fact, this is Artle Crag here. Not much of a crag, is it? But I'm going to head down and go and have a look at that survey station, see if I can get across the fence here and go and have a look. Oops. Whoa! Yeah, that got really deep. You can see here, look, how this has drifted. Obviously snowed a heck of a lot last night. Wow. Don't know if you can see all this, but yeah. All that is just driftage. Well, I mean, I could just... I'm just going to straddle it. I mean, flipping heck, it's not exactly high, is it? Straddle the fence. I'm not condoning this, by the way. This isn't part of the official right of way. The right of way actually follows the fence on the left hand side there and goes through multiple bogs. Oh heck, this looks a bit this looks a bit dicey. Someone else has walked there, you can see the footprints, and that looks really boggy there. It's nice though, playing out in the snow today. Last week, you know, there was obviously a lot of snow around, but it's just blowing in my face. I should make a snowman really, shouldn't I? Let's get down to this survey station and see what it's all about. At the survey station. Let's see if there's a plaque on it or anything like that that gives some kind of indication as to what it is. Nothing there, no writing. Nothing there. It looks like a chimney breast. It's almost like there was a building here once, and that's all that remains, but there's no fireplace, so it can't be that. It's an odd one though. Yeah, it's an interesting structure. Weird. Can't quite work out what it is, but yeah, Yeah, if you know what kind of survey they were doing on that survey station, like I say, whether it was ordnance survey or something to do with the BGS, let me know. Now then, what's this I'm stepping into? Ooh. So what I'm doing is I'm going to head back to the fence and get over onto the other side and pick up that main path, because there's no point in going up the hill here and back down again and then heading towards Captain Welter Bog. I don't want to do that. I know it gets boggy on the other side of the fence anyway, but I think it's even more boggy on this side. These snow days, they don't have to take it out of you. You know, the energy gets sapped. Every step is just that little bit harder. So yeah, it's good doing a shorter route, that's for sure. Oh, hang on, I can't get over that, can I? I could possibly get under it. Yeah, I think I might have to just crawl under this, you know. This could be interesting. Trying to do it without... how am I going to get my bag under here? I'm going to get absolutely soaked now, aren't I? But it'll be right. Ooh, camera, come on. Start switching on. Let's have a look. See if I can get through sideways. Yeah, that's good. But I'm now on the actual proper path now, which, to be honest with you, it isn't a great path. It's not really a very well trodden path. It kind of rises and dips a bit and then rises once more towards Selside. That's really the last uphill of the day. So in his book, Wainwright says if it's a clagged-in day, to travel between Selside and Branstree using this fence as a navigation aid. Basically just hand-railing along like I am right now. But on a clear day, you know, you can step off onto the side, go and have a look at that survey station like I've just done. So in effect, what I'm doing here is I'm actually walking along the length of the road that I did this morning. So I walked that direction in a westerly direction this morning, up Gatesgarth Pass, and then now walking easterly, doing that same distance, slightly more, because obviously Gatesgarth goes off at a little bit of an angle, and I'm also going all the way off over to the old Corpse Road, which is a little bit further than where I parked. But yeah, pretty much that's all there is to it. So these are not huge distances. Nearly again. It's kind of sloped, not useful. You know, it's the second time I've worn these boots in full winter conditions, and these aren't marketed as winter boots, but you know what, my feet are nice and warm and toasty, even though I have stood still for a little bit. Yeah, they're good, very, very good. Link is in the description. Right, finally getting to the end of that weird, slopey, slippy bit of path and approaching what is marked on the map as Captain Welter Bog, or certainly an element of it. And on a non-snowy day, this can be just a little bit of a pain to traverse. But I'm hoping because it's snowy, it'll be right. And then that's it, look, you see Selside here, a little bit of a climb up there, but it's not far. Right, yes, I remember now, yeah. You kind of wind round. Oh, last time I was here, in fact I did a video here a couple of years ago. It was Haweswater, I think I did Hartefell as well. So I did this route here and Hartefell. Yeah, it's quite boggy, look. And it was incredibly boggy around this section. Ooh, I can hear it cracking under my feet, all the ice. So that's good, that's really made life a lot easier. It's got to be said, this is a bit trudgy. Okay, now approaching the summit of Selside. Highest point is probably over there. I don't want anybody saying that I haven't ticked it off. So I'm going to go to the highest point, which I estimate is probably here-ish. Yeah. This is probably the true top Let's get past the shelter. That's a nice shelter, actually. That is a good one. Yeah, it's a good one, but it's kind of filled with snow. So if you were to shelter here, you'd have to dig it out a little bit. Beautiful. Look at it. Something else, isn't it? And it's nice and interesting to be facing east like this, looking at other hills and not the Lake District, looking outside the national park. So I can just and so make out my path. It's kind of beyond the brow of this little hill here. On the other hill, it's going to take me right down. That is the old Corpse Road. So yeah, it's nice actually, because the last time I was here and the time before that, there was very, very little visibility and couldn't really see where the hell I was going. I've just remembered something that I wanted to show you on top of Branstree. I can't believe it. I saw it and I thought, right, I need to mention that and get the big camera out and show you, but I completely forgot. But it was basically Morecambe Bay. You can see it really clearly and quite close. You could see Ironside Knot, and behind it you could see Heysham Power Station. Now I can see the path. You might be able to see it on this camera. You might, like a very thin white thread going along the fell side there. Now if I remember rightly, that does get a little bit boggy in places, but I'm really pleased about this today. I'm so happy that I've done it on a cold, icy, snowy day. But yeah, that won't take me long at all there. And drop down to those fantastic buildings and quite possibly, well, definitely up there in the top 10 Lakeland views in the Lake District. That's where I'm going right now. Okay, so we now join the old Corpse Road and heading back towards the van and that incredible view. So the reason it's called the old Corpse Road is literally because they used to ferry corpses from the village of Mardale over to Shap long before they had a church. You know, they didn't have their own church in the village, so yeah, carry them over here. Eventually Mardale got its own, I think it's Mardale Green actually, it got its own church, so they didn't have to do that anymore. And then ultimately the village was flooded on purpose to make Haweswater, the reservoir, back in that date. I can't remember. It's been a long day. I've heard some interesting stories about this particular area and around the old Corpse Road. People who've wild camped up round here have said that they've heard strange noises and strange things have happened. So yeah, I might do a wild camp up round here, what do you reckon? Oh boy, now that I've dropped down quite a bit, it's quite warm. There's definitely heat in that sun. Walking straight towards Hartefell now, look how far away it looks. So I walked right up next to that this morning. That was one that looked like Pumori in Nepal. And then up onto Branstree there, and then finally Selside. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you one of the top 10 views in the Lake District. It is surely up there in the top 10. That's a pretty fine view, isn't it? You have to admit. And there's photo opportunities everywhere here. Sometimes I get a little bit overwhelmed about how many opportunities there are here, and I come away with no photographs at all. But look, little buildings here and there. Obviously a lot of history here from the quarry days and what have you. There's another one just up here. So I'm going to go and sit up on this one, and I'm going to sit and enjoy that view and have some scrannage. Right, I can't think of a better picnic spot, you know. right here. Cheers. It's magnificent, isn't it? Absolutely magnificent. The whole shape of the ridge, Rough Crag, the shape of the lake, the building, the mountains, it's got everything. Definitely up there in the top 10. Oh, that feels so much better. Just starting to flag a bit. Now then, I was going to, in the original plan, when I was planning this walk, to get to this point and sit here and wait for things to happen and get some photographs and that kind of stuff, but I wasn't planning on the blue sky. So I think I'm probably just going to move on. Had there been a little bit of cloud drama there, I probably would have stayed, even though the sun is getting low. But it would have been nice. It could have been cutting right through different clouds and illuminating bits and pieces, but that's not the case. This looks lovely, it really does, but it's not great for taking pictures. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back down to the Vane and make my way to a pub that I've not been to before. It's in Shap, and I saw it the last time I was here. I thought, well, it's quite nice in there, but we'll see. Wouldn't that be a great pub? That should be like a little mountain bar, you know, lodge. I'd love to have a time machine and go and stand in one of these buildings and just turn the dial and go back in time and see what happened in these places. You know, was it just workmen just huddled around a fire? Was it grim? Was it kind of cosy? What was it like? I'd love to know. They are pretty grim places now, as they are used by a lot of people as toilets. That's a nice view to be walking towards, though, isn't it? To end the day, you know. It's been a wonderful day in the Fells, and to finish it off with that is pretty special. Never ever will I get bored of that. Never. Whew. That waterfall in front, that is Rowan Tree Thut Beck. Bit of a mouthful, but beautiful waterfalls. Especially when you drop down to the bottom, like I showed you this morning, by the road. You can go and get through the gate there and have a look at the bottom of them. They're very nice. So you can really see the sun dropping very quickly. Just a little bit of the rig in the sunlight now. All of Riggindale is in shade now, pretty much. Now, it's bits like this where it kind of tricks you. You're lulled into a false sense of security. Yeah, bare rock, I'm alright, you can walk on me. And then, shung. Yeah, there's that bit of ice there. I didn't tell you about that. Back on road. Hello, you alright? Home sweet home. My go-to pub in this area always used to be the Crown and Mitre in Bampton Grange, but sadly it closed down. Well, the plan was to go here to the Greyhound Hotel in Shap, but it was closed. So I decided to drive down the A6 a little bit further in search of another pub. But sadly, I didn't find one. And as time went on, I just wanted to get home. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. And as always, thank you for all your continued support. It makes a big difference to this channel. And I'll see you on the next walk. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with a slightly speeded up drive along this wonderful road, the A6.